Hello everyone, welcome to episode 17 of our FM17 Newcastle United save. As you can see, we are now past the January transfer window, and there is some news just to talk to you about. As you can see, there's been a lot of transfers over the entire course of this season. Just in terms of ones that maybe you wouldn't have seen at the end of that last episode, we did bring in Sam Gallagher and Harrison Reed from Southampton, both players whose contracts are expiring, but as they are domestic players, we aren't able to reach a pre-agreement with them before the end of their contract. So I did just stump up the cash, given we'd probably have to pay compensation for them anyway. I think £1.3 million for these players is not bad at all. Gallagher can maybe just be a rotation player for us behind our two main strikers or three main strikers, but Harrison Reed I think could develop into a real quality player, so he might get a bit more game time, and he does flesh out that midfield as I wanted. And just in terms of players that went out, there was only really one more, and that was Craig Dawson went to Southampton for what could become £12 million. I didn't want to sell him, but they came in with a bid on deadline day. I rejected it. He got unhappy, said I had to accept a bid if they came in with a higher offer. I didn't want an unhappy player for the rest of the season. And when they came back with about £12 million, I thought, why not? So he's gone. It doesn't hit us too hard, I don't think. Joe Gomez is just coming back from a long-term injury, and he has a lot of potential. So I was going to look to give him more game time anyway. And Bemba and Iorfa can both play in that central position as well, who are good young players, as can Lascelles. So I think between those and Mbabu, who is on loan at the moment, we've got plenty of cover if we need it. And I think the team is pretty much where I want it to be, really, and we've got extra cash if we need it. We've still got £20 million and 70 grand, which means that we'll probably have a big budget next season when it comes round. So I'm quite happy with how the January transfer window went. I think we've made some good additions. Batshuayi, obviously the biggest one, maybe alongside Trinidad de Vilhena. But when you look at the deals that we've done this season, they are exceptional, really. And the fact that we've turned a £17 million profit on that is just even better. And that could go up to more with the additional fees we might get in afterwards. So I'm very happy with the way that all went overall, and it means that today we are playing away from home against Swansea, but Batshuayi can come back into the team up front. Richie and Atsu on the wings, Vilhena, Cook and Silva in the centre, and then Lukaku, Mbemba, Iorfa and Giamez on the right. I was going to start Joe Gomez, but I thought I'll give Giamez a bit of game time on the right side and bring Iorfa into the centre. Swansea down in about 17th, 18th in the league at the moment, so it's a game that we should be winning. We do, down in 18th. We do also have the FA Cup replay against Blackburn, and then some tough matches against City, Arsenal, Bournemouth and Everton. So quite a tricky episode, really, after drawing 6 consecutive matches. But the flip side of that is that we're 6 games unbeaten. So I think we should be beating Swansea. I'm going to be really annoyed if we don't. I know we've had poor away form, but there's no excuse when you're playing a team in the bottom 3, and we have to be winning those matches. We're still not at that 40-point mark, but I think Batshuayi is the player who's going to get the goals for us over the next few seasons. So if he can score again as he did on his debut, we'll be in good shape. Free kick from Matt Ritchie, still early in the game. He's picked out Iorfa, and Iorfa has scored. We're 1-0 up from a Matt Ritchie free kick, as we so often score. And Iorfa proving why we didn't sell him to Malaga. Lucas Silva back to do it. Vilhena. Atsu can maybe go on a run. Instead he plays it back, and Vilhena can pick out Lukaku on the left-hand flank. He can whip in the cross, and there's Matt Ritchie, the assist player from the first goal, scores the second, and we're 2-0 up. Ritchie just keeping possession. Vilhena does find Janssen again. Atsu couldn't quite pick out Janssen, and Fabianski has hit it against Janssen, and it's 3-0. Vincent Janssen's 7th of the season. He seems to be back on form at just the right time. It's a very, very good win by the team. We're now 7 games unbeaten, but the main thing is we stopped our run of draws and got a very important away victory. Away victory being the emphasis. We're now 2 points away from that brilliant 40-point mark, and we're back up the table again. Well clear of Swansea down in 18th. I think we are comfortably safe of relegation with 12 games to go. And we can now start maybe looking at breaking into that top half from our 11th position in the league. Not too much change to the team for this match away at Blackburn. Pulisic coming in on the left, and Janssen is in for the cup-tied and injured Batshuayi. Batshuayi going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks after straining his hamstring in the last match. Luckily, it's not a tear, so he won't be out for a long time. But Janssen is back on form at the moment anyway, so I've got no real concerns there. I just want the team to pick up exactly where they left off with that excellent 3-0 away win against Swansea. Iorfa clears the ball away, just 5 minutes left, otherwise we are going to extra time for the second round in a row. But here's Pulisic cutting across the defence, goes for goal, just wide. Corner from Matt Ritchie, looking for Iorfa at the far post again. There's de Guzman, back to Iorfa. Gomez just passing the ball around. Kaleri! Kaleri, 6 months after signing for the club, has got his first ever goal, and it's not for a lack of playing time. But what a time to get it. We're 1-0 up. Looks like Jonathan Caleri's one contribution as a Newcastle player has been to get us through to the FA Cup 5th round. I'm not going to be annoyed at the players, just going to tell them I'm happy. I want us to keep winning matches if we can. It's a big game against Manchester City now. We are playing Rafa Benitez, who is the manager of Manchester City, the man whose job I stole to take charge of Newcastle. I'm not full of hope for this. We have done very well at home against the big clubs, but I don't think we've got our strongest team out there, and I think we might struggle a little bit. But I'm hoping for the best, and I'm open to being pleasantly surprised. We're on a good, long, unbeaten run at the moment. I think it's 8 games unbeaten, so hopefully we can carry that morale, which is very high, through to take on City, who are second in the league at the moment. De Bruyne with the ball on the right-hand side. He can go on a bit of a run. Back inside to Silva. So many top quality players on the pitch for City. And here's Griezmann into Aguero. It's a very dangerous attack we're up against. Gundogan out to John Stones. Whips the ball across. Griezmann's there, and it is 1-0. Ball put forward, and Janssen is free to hold on to it. And he picks out Matt Ritchie. This could be a good attack for us, but instead Otamendi gets the ball, and it's a counter-attack for City. They're going to carve us open, I think. Fernandinho's got Aguero in our goal, and that is 2-0. Sterling cutting inside, finds Gabriel. There's Gundogan, and that was too easy. I'm not sure what Tim Krul was doing covering the other side of the post, so he left a huge gap, and Gundogan slots it in for 3-0. It has finished 3-0 to Manchester City. I'm not going to be too hard on the players. I'm just going to tell them they were unlucky, which will definitely help morale. I don't think we can ever expect something against Manchester City. They are so good in this game. We are taking on Manchester City for the second game in a row, this time in the FA Cup. 5th round. We're away from home this time, so I'm not expecting much. I am going to put out a very strong team, probably the strongest one we can. We've got Pulisic coming in on the left flank for Atsu, who I'm increasingly losing interest in. As you can see, the assistant manager does not think that Atsu is anywhere near the top on our left flank. So Julian Green, Guzman, Ritchie, Aarons, all ahead of him on that left flank. So I think he might be about to drop down the pecking order somewhat. Everywhere else is pretty much full strength, no major surprises. It's just a case of seeing if we can pull off another big upset against a big team and get some revenge for that heavy 3-0 defeat at St James's Park. It's corner for Man City. Sterling whips it across, and there's a Marvey who just knocks it in after the header was put at his feet, and it's 1-0 to City. Cook sends the ball back to Vilhena. Inside to Pulisic, he can maybe slip through a pass. It's Janssen into Lucas Silva. It's 1-1. Lucas Silva with the goal. We're back on terms. Late free kick from Man City, sent up towards Johnny, but Caleri's going to get that ball. I think this will be the full-time whistle. It's going to be a draw away at the City of Manchester Stadium, or the Etihad. There it is, 1-1. Not too disappointing. It's a result that we can give positive team talk from, and it means we get to play Man City at home, where hopefully they'll field another weakened team and we can overturn them and get into the into the 6th round of the FA Cup. Tough match away against Arsenal now, and not too many changes to the team. Janssen continues to lead the line, but Batshuayi is back on the bench if we need him. We've got Pulisic starting on the left. I'm not going to give Atsu any more chances. Pulisic is too good a player to not be playing. Everybody else pretty much the same from that draw with Man City at the Etihad. A couple of pieces of news between games. One is that in the quarterfinal draw, we would be playing Aston Villa away if we managed to get through our second, our replay against Man City at St James's Park. The other piece of news is that the squad are apparently unhappy with my management. I think the problem is that because we've got a young squad, they're also quite an ambitious squad. So even though I might be fulfilling the board's objectives, the players maybe think that we should be doing a bit better than those expectations. Not a lot I can really do about that. It's the trouble with having young players is that they do tend to be more ambitious, which means that you are going to have problems with morale. All we can really do is try and climb up the table. I think we'll be fine. We're not going to get the sack anytime soon. So hopefully in the next transfer window we'll get a big budget, be able to bring in some more good players and hopefully be able to push further up the table. But a good win against Arsenal away from home would certainly help the team pick up their morale and pick up their league position. So we'll have to see if they can do their end of the bargain and get us 3 points at the Emirates Stadium. Chamberlain tries to swing the ball in, but Lukaku's there. Ramsey's got there though, and then Lucas touches the ball in. Very poor from Lukaku not to clear that ball properly, and Lucas makes it 1-0 to Arsenal. Giamez out on the right has given the ball away there, and now Lucas can maybe do something. Instead, Vilhena wins the ball back, and he knocks it forward to Pulisic. Can we find the right killer ball? Pulisic still going. Is he going to have another shot? Instead, he goes back to Vilhena again. Lucas Silva this time finds Cook. Into Richie, finds Janssen, goes for goal, and Janssen has scored. He is definitely finding his feet at Newcastle now. It's taken a long time, but that's his 8th of the season. We're 1-1. Free kick from Cazorla in towards the Arsenal players, but we are just getting the ball away. Chamberlain now finds Mustafi, who goes for goal. Mustafi scored an absolute screamer. I'm not sure he does that in real life very often, but on Football Manager, he is plenty good enough. Ozil with a foul there. I think he maybe committed handball. He's already on a yellow card and he's been sent off. We're playing 10 men for the last 25 minutes. Maybe we can get something from this game. Chamberlain just going on a run. He's lost possession, but that is a full-time whistle. We have been beaten, probably deservedly so, by Arsenal. We're unfortunate not to get anything from that game. A little bit unlucky, really. And it means we are still in 11th place. Quite disappointing. We've had a few opportunities to move up the table and we've not been taking them. And the teams behind us are catching up a little bit, so we do need to really kick on in the final 10 games of the season. 30 points up for grabs. I'd like to see us get at least half that. Final game of the episode is the FA Cup replay against Manchester City. We are at home, morale's not too bad, and I'm hoping Man City are going to play a weakened team again. They played only a couple of days ago. So we've made a few changes to keep people fresh. Atsu coming in on the left wing. Otherwise, Joe Gomez coming into central defence. But still a very strong first team from us. We haven't been too bad lately. I'm hoping we can actually get the win today. I'm a little bit hopeful of that. But I think it is dependent on City playing a weakened team. John Stones trying to clear that ball away. He's giving it away to Lucas Silva. Melville Vilhena. Can we create something? We've been so dominant in the early part of this game, playing a weakened Man City side. Vilhena across to Lucas Silva. We know he can hit them. Instead he finds Janssen, and Janssen hits it. Another stunning goal from Janssen. He is definitely finding the form at the right time. We're 1-0 up against Man City. Riedervold finds Nietzsche. Oh, it's deflected in, and it's 1-1. That's very disappointing. It goes down as Olivier Nietzsche's goal, but we've been playing so well. That's really unfortunate. Corner for Man City. Gabriel puts the ball to the far post. John Stones with a free header, and it's been touched in, I think, by Mangala. 2-1 now to City. We've been turned over. I think time's probably up. There it is. We have lost this game. So disappointing. I thought we were the better team. And I'm not happy with the result or the team for going out at this stage. That was a City side that we should have been beating, probably reasonably comfortably as well. So I'm very unhappy to have gone out at this stage. It also means that we haven't won for 4 games after getting those 2 wins in a row at the start of this episode, and having a good unbeaten run. We've now lost 3 of the last 4. I mean, they were against the last 4 matches were City, Arsenal, City. So maybe not as bad as it could have been. We could have lost all 4. Not that it would have changed things. But next episode, we are now playing more reasonable opposition. Bournemouth, Everton, and Chelsea, not going to be too easy. But then West Ham, Bristol, Southampton, and finishing this series this season with Leicester, Burnley, Man United, and Spurs. So we need to get a few wins out of these games. Only the 2 episodes left of this season. So make sure that you subscribe if you want to see how this season ends, if we can improve on our 11th place position or not. But that will be it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.